Unmute. 30 seconds.
Hi, Nikhil.
Hey, Jogel, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good, good. I was just waiting for this meeting since the morning.
Yeah. Good, good. Excited to see you.
Oh, same here, same here. It's been so long, right?
Yeah, it's been like almost 1.5 years now.
Time passes so quickly. Where's
I
the,
remember you with more hair actually.
sorry?
I remember you with more hair actually.
Oh, yeah. I just got, a haircut yesterday. My sister. Like,
Okay, I
it's
see.
not allowed to go out.
Awesome. Okay.
So where's the kid? I met a kid as well.
Yeah, he's inside doing his work.
Is he liking it now or
Oh
better?
yeah, of course he's liking it. His school and all started, so he's kind
Mhm.
of liking it.
Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, initially kids don't like it here, right? They got a new environment and all that, so they don't prefer to be here. But now, once they're adjusted, they like it more, I guess. Plus, it's more safe, I think. Canada.
Correct.
I see one more person. Hello.
Yeah. Well, I'll let everybody come in. It's still like 6 more minutes. So
Hi,
Yeah,
Jugal. Hi, Nikhil. How are you?
I'm good. How
Hi.
are you? Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, this is Vishal and Nisha from Dubai. We basically
Hey,
are the
Vishal.
PR
Hey,
holders,
Nisha.
but we have not come to Dubai yet. So
Hey,
Oh, you
we
guys
are
are still- you
SPGen
guys are logging in
EMBA
from
batch
Dubai? Oh, you
from
guys are logging
Dubai.
in from Dubai? Oh, wow.
yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
oh,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Oh,
So
nice, nice.
you guys never came to Canada, or?
We
We were in Canada in January. We came for 3 weeks. We did a soft landing, and we
Okay.
came back after looking at the scenario over there. So we just thought we'll come back soon once this COVID thing is over, or it is like maybe in
Plus,
2022. So.
plus the taxes are better in Dubai, so
Oh, amazing! Trust me, tell me.
I mean, plus
Hi,
it's near
Ashok.
to.
Hi everyone. Looks
Hi.
like there are some early birds here. I thought I was early.
So, Nikhil, this
I
is
think-
Ashok. He's a secretary for the Canada chapter. Sorry, Nisha, to interrupt, but I'll just basically do the introductions.
sorry, Jugal.
Yeah,
Hey
sure.
Nikhil, thank you for making time.
No,
No
I was
problem.
just saying SPGen's given us the trend to come in a bit early to class. So we've just carried it forward.
That's wonderful. Am I seeing you for the first time, Nisha?
Ashok, we both are actually SPGen EMBA Dubai batch.
Okay.
So we did a soft landing in Canada in this Jan, and then looking at the pandemic, we just thought of holding it for a year and then landing next year permanently.
So where are you now?
What about you? In Dubai.
Oh, okay.
What
Because
about you?
It's been over 2 years now. I'm here.
Okay.
Great.
How's
Yeah.
it going?
I mean, I love it here. Yeah, I mean, COVID is totally unpredictable. It's affecting everyone. Otherwise, I can't complain. I love it here. I'm looking forward to the summer so that we can really do some outdoorsy stuff. Otherwise, yeah, everything is good.
Before we start with this thing, I hope everyone and everyone's family is safe back home, and everyone is going good.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
know.
it's really worse out there in India, especially, everyone you talk to, they're like, the third person has COVID. Actually, I
Yeah.
talked to 5 friends and 4 of them are like, oh, I'm like, be safe from COVID. And they're like, oh, we already have it. So what do we be safe from? Well, luckily, the family is safe and all, but I've heard some bad news, from some people, their family members and all that.
So sorry about that.
So I still have my WhatsApp group of all the SPGN folks who graduated with me. And every day somebody is asking for help for a family member or a friend. So like yesterday, this morning when I woke up, there was some emergency in Bangalore. Somebody was able to get some help from the hospital, and also it's just tough. It's just tough. So every day something is happening.
It's a difficult time.
Yeah, it is very difficult.
Plus, like, if you even try the approach and all that in Delhi, we have some, right? So they're helpless. They're like, we can't even get it from our family, so forget about it. I tried contacting my friend who's in politics and all that in Delhi, but he's like, even my coworker is not able to do anything. His mom died, coworkers who works in a political party. So
Yeah,
it's
because
not-
it is not about who has the connection or power. It's just simple
Yeah.
demand and supply, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard, some hospitals are, they're so overwhelmed that they are choosing who should die, who should live. Like humans are choosing that. So that's even, worse, I would say. But let's hope it gets better. I've seen
Yeah.
some good news that they are donating now from different countries to India, and I hope it gets better soon. They really do something. I mean, people have to realize too, they have to stay home. Like I had an argument with my family. They were going out. I'm like, it's not done. You have to stay home. And now they are staying home finally.
And where's your family?
Delhi.
Okay.
I think I'm the only Delhi person here.
Well, people will join. I guess there will be other people as well for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, our alumni is from all over India. Our alumni
Oh.
is from all corners of India. So we'll have people from South India, North India, East, West.
Nice. So how is this college? Like, is it like everywhere in, is it in Delhi? Is it in Mumbai, or they have branches everywhere?
No, so SP Jain is basically a college based out of Mumbai. It originally started as SP Jain Institute of Management and Research, SPJIMR,
Mhm.
and then
Okay.
they went global
Mhm.
because SPJIMR was a college based purely out of Mumbai and it was offering 2-year MBA program. But
Okay.
SPJIN Global MBA is what we are part of, like the SPJIN School of Global Management. They started with Dubai
Mhm.
and Singapore. So they have 2 campuses in Dubai and Singapore, and then now they moved permanently in Sydney, Australia.
Wow.
So they
Okay.
have 3 campuses: Dubai, Sydney, Singapore, and yeah, so 3 campuses. Yes, that is where they're based out, and they branched out into BBA, MBA, EMBA. Now there is a doctorate in business management also, DBA.
So it's like a brand now, right? It should
Oh
be
yeah,
hard
yeah.
to get into.
Yeah, it is, and in fact, it is frequently rated as top universities in like global rankings also.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's hard. Like, I can't recommend my friends from Delhi at least to get
You
into
can.
that college. It's hard. I don't have that, intelligent friends. Trust me, they're not gonna make it, I'm sure. It's like, I think it's like, the IIM level, or at least something closer towards that, because they are becoming a brand. So getting into such colleges would be hard, I'm guessing.
For GMBA, yes. But for the EMBA, I think it is easy comparatively.
EMBA. Okay.
Yes.
Distance education, right?
No, it's basically a class-based education. It goes
Mhm.
on for 1 year, 6 months. For
Okay.
GMBA, which is a Tri-City model, they go it only for a year.
Okay.
So they spend 4 years in different countries, like 4 years in Dubai, 4 years
Okay.
in Singapore. Sorry, 4 months in Dubai, 4 months in Singapore, and 4 months in Australia. And
Okay.
they are basically getting the placement guaranteed from the SPG side. For
Oh, wow.
EMBA, you're already a working professional, so it is a 1.5 year course where they basically touch base on all the concepts. So that
Mhm.
is also an amazing journey.
Oh, wow. Plus, I'm sure you guys had a lot of fun. You guys are in touch after, a while, and you guys have a group. So it would have been a lot of fun, right? In college and university.
Yes.
Okay. That's good.
Because it's part-time. So when I was in SPGen, it was from Saturday to Thursday, 7 to
Okay.
10:30.
Okay.
When he joined weekends, and now it's completely become that whole ELO platform where these virtual classrooms are there.
Oh, wow.
I've
Okay.
seen some pictures. It looks amazing, but I don't know how the experience, but it looks amazing in the picture. So
Oh,
Oh,
it is
okay.
nice.
He
And
attended
plus,
one of the subjects with ELO, but it
Mhm.
looks very great.
It looks nice.
and
at least
Nisha, and I don't know your name, the husband,
Vishal.
Vishal.
Vishal. You guys met in the college itself?
No,
No.
I did my MBA before marriage, and then 3 months into
Oh,
marriage, I got him to do the MBA.
oh, okay. It would have been a story if you guys met in the college. Like,
Yeah.
and then you're
There
attending.
are many.
There are
There are
many.
many. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There are many.
There are many stories, definitely.
Okay. I know stories from my high school. Like, I'm like, were you guys dating in the school? Like, I didn't even know about it. How come? And I've been here, a decade almost. Like, I've been here since 2012. So I came here after my high school, and here I am. It's been a long time.
So
So
Nikhil,
no.
we'll wait for 2 more minutes.
Mhm.
We'll wait till 4:05 for
Yeah.
see if everybody can log in, and then we can start at 4:05 and we can have that session.
Definitely. Yep.
And from 4:30, we'll open the floor for questions. So whatever questions our audience has, so we can address that as well.
Okay. Just wanted to ask, is it half hour?
I mean,
Would
pretty
you-
much up to you.
yeah,
I
would you
mean,
need
we'll
more
have.
time?
I'm talkative, man. I can talk for 2 hours.
No, I mean only because it's virtual, and I guess people must be attending calls throughout the week. We want to make sure
Yeah.
that, yeah, and I'm sure there are tons of questions they might have. So if you can give a overview and then open up to the question, I'm sure what you have in mind, there'll be question on that. So you can
Yeah.
definitely take the time to answer that. Yeah. And
I like to go the simple way, explaining things simply rather than using the professional terms, because they have no relevance to you guys, and then it becomes more confusing. And I like to use layman terms so that you guys know what you guys are getting into, and what is the future, and what you have to do and what not. So I'm more towards using layman terms so that it's easier to understand.
wonderful, wonderful. I mean, yeah, I mean,
Wonderful.
I can't believe it's already 4:05.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good evening, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody's staying safe. All our family members are doing fine and safe in India as well. Thank you for joining at this last moment. We have this wonderful session organized. Ashok, DJ, and myself, we really welcome you guys to join in for the session, and let us welcome Nikhil, who is a passionate realtor within the GTA area, and he's quite knowledgeable. I did meet him a couple of times before as well, and then I enjoyed a lot of information from him as well. So, Nikhil, over to you, and floor is yours.
Awesome. Hi guys. I hope you guys are doing good and everyone is safe, especially at this time. And so I'm Nick Hill, and I am here in Canada for last 9 years. And my career revolves between sales and then management and leading teams. And I was a software developer too, so pretty multitasking. And now I've worked in software for probably 5-6 years, but I didn't enjoy it that much as I enjoy talking to people, meeting new people. And I would say real estate is my passion, and not just real estate, cars in real estate, I would say. But I see more professionalism in being a realtor or in this field, so I chose to be a realtor rather than into selling cars. And it's fun thing for me, it's fun for my clients. I'm mostly I'm looking for getting deals for my clients, and then guiding them through the process, and what to buy, what not to buy, when it's the right time to buy. So this is what I do. I love it. The reason is it's not a job for me. I just meet people and I make money, and I do it honestly, so it's even easier. Clients trust you and they give references, and then you enjoy. you know. So I made a PowerPoint, and I'll share my screen here. Awesome. So if there's any errors, blame my sister because she modified it. So it's not me. Anyway, so I work for a brokerage called Living Realty. They have 5 locations in the entire GTA. And what brokerage means is, and it's it's a management for a realtor, or it's an office, it's a management, and it's like a company that hires realtors to sell products. By products means it's not just resale properties, we have other products as well. I'll discuss that in a brief moment. But yeah, Living Realty, I represent Living Realty, and they are 40 years old in the market. And it's been fun working with them. They're pretty supportive. There are quite a few brokerages here, and all the brokerage job of a brokerage is providing support and management to the realtors. So I have a really cool manager who always supports me. I give him sales as well, so there's more support. So if I give him sales, then I get a better position in the company. Anyway, so let's start. So in Canada, we have major housing types. It's not we categorized it. It's not like you're just buying. In India we call it just a home, but here we have different kinds of housing. So the first one is a condo. it's also called a flat in India. It's also called an apartment. Here we call it a condo or an apartment. Condo, we have more facilities in the building. They're newer, they're more luxury. And we have gyms, we have swimming pools, we have quite a few facilities, security. It depends on what building you're buying a condo in, and you get the features you're looking for. The second one is condo townhouse. So condo townhouse is a cross between townhouse and a condo. So you could actually get an entire unit. It's called an urban townhome, or you could get 2 floors in the building, and it's called a stacked townhouse. With that said, condos and condo townhomes, townhouse is also called townhome. Condos and condo townhomes have maintenance fees, which is what people don't like here. People run away from maintenance fees. As the building gets older, the maintenance fees gets more. Now, I disagree when people say that this maintenance fees is waste of money. It somehow is not, because you're getting some facilities in that maintenance fees. So it could be cleaning the snow, it could be cutting the grass in the common areas, it could be maintaining the party room, it could be maintaining the swimming pool, it could be maintaining the gym. You guys don't pay any of that. So just pay your maintenance fees and you get all the facilities. And some buildings even provide heating, electricity, and water in the maintenance fees. So it depends what you buy, but I don't find maintenance fees as a problem if it's a smaller investment or a smaller expense for buying a housing. With that said, the people buy properties for 2 reasons. One is primary property. Primary is when they want to live in something, or investment is when they want to make money. So it's also a business. Real estate is also considered a business here. And let's go to the next one. We have a townhome. This is where I live. It's a freehold townhome. What townhome means, it's a house, but the next house, the right one and the left one, are joint to your house. And people will like more space here, so this is the third preference for people. And the left one here in this picture is a corner townhome. So it's more like semi. That's here. So semi is, the full form is semi detached, and we call it semi, but it's like two houses in one building, and the right one has space, left one has space. Left one, there's a significance for this space, that you can use an external exit from the backyard to the front, or you can get into the backyard from the front for a separate access or separate entrance. Some people here, they make a basement apartment, and it can be rented out, it can be used. But if you're renting it out, people like their privacy, so they like to go from the separate entrance. And that's why people like semis here. I'm not a huge fan of semi-detached homes, because it's expensive than a corner townhome. And if I'm given a choice, if I'm saving like $80,000 or $100,000, I would rather go for a townhouse that's corner. But people still buy it semi-detached here. It doesn't matter, the next building to yours or the next house to yours is adjacent or joined to another house. For me, it doesn't. So if I'm getting my separate entrance and my separate access to the backyard, I find it fine. If I'm saving some money, like 80,000 is a big amount, I would say, although it goes on to your mortgage, but it is something. So now detached homes, they are given the most priority, and that's why I've given them a more priority. I gave them an entire slide. So this is how they look. could be smaller, could be up to here. This is a huge one. So on the left hand side there's no building, right hand side there's no building. There will be a building, but 2 meters away or 3 meters away. But here, you can have an entrance from here, you can have an entrance from here to the backyard. And people love it a lot here, especially in Canada. That said, detached homes are, they're expensive. They're really expensive. I remember talking for a client for mine, a buyer client. I got them a deal for a detached home like this, pretty similar, for $930,000. And in 2 months, I don't know what happened, this went up to 1.2 million. And I'm not even exaggerating. The market is hot here in Canada, and it's a seller's market, and people get good money for detached homes. If you're a buyer, yes, I would say detached is a big deal to get. But that said, detached homes is your entire lot. So basically, let's say down the lines in 30 years, 40 years, if there's no other pandemic and we survive, we can break the entire house and make a new one, like the way we do it in India. We can get permissions, we can hire a builder, they can make an entire house for us. And that's not possible in townhomes because it's adjacent to another building. That's not possible in semis as well, unless your neighbor helps you out or they're interested. And if you guys have any questions, you guys can stop me in between. I'm okay in being interactive. So here in Canada, I understood this after I got into the market as a realtor. When I was a buyer in the market, I couldn't get this concept. So because a lot of realtors, they want to sell only one product, which I think most of you would know by now. It's resale properties. So whatever is built, sell it. So here you go, an existing house, and a lot of people sell it because it's easier to sell, easier to find. We have a huge inventory of these homes, and a seller realtor can list it, and a buyer realtor can help the buyer buy it. So this is the most common, and this is all I knew before getting into the industry or before becoming a professional realtor here. And it's not even in any books that there is three types of properties and all that. It's just by experience. Second is pre-construction. In Canada, pre-construction is so crazy that people here stand in lines from the previous night. Let's say you're standing in line from 6 p.m. and waiting in the line until like 12 next day or 11 a.m. next day. So it's that crazy. I've heard people doing that. So they would get their tent, they would get their food, and they would stay in lines for getting pre-construction. And a lot of builders sell it directly to the client. And the conditions I was saying, standing in line, not in like a lovely weather like this. It's like standing in -20 when you're freezing. I've heard people fainting in those lines. So it's that hard to get pre-construction. Reason is you get a brand new house, you get some warranties, and you get value for money. And the prices are a little cheaper than resale. Even though you buy a 4 years old house or you buy a brand new, it's competitive. So it's pretty, you can compare it, and then you will feel like, I will rather spend $50 a month or $100 a month more than going for a resale one. That's why there's a huge demand. With that said, yes, some realtors can sell pre-construction, and a lot of us don't have access to the projects. So that's why pre-construction is not promoted that much, because access is very important. What access means is knowing the builder, knowing someone in the builder's constituency, or knowing someone you can they can trust on you and you can trust on them. So you have to have links. So if me as a realtor, I don't have links, I won't promote this. But if I have links, yes, it's my favorite, to be honest, because there's so much appreciation for you guys. So you buy something for 900 and it will be 950 by the time it's ready. And it's that it's that wonderful. And it's not like India here. We have big builders here, and it's not like they won't make your unit. Sorry. So they won't make your unit, or they don't make your house, they don't make your apartment. It doesn't happen here. Once in a once in like 1,000 cases maybe, but there you are protected. The way you are protected is, there are some warranties here. Let's say you buy a house and the builder goes bankrupt. Sorry, the builder goes bankrupt. uh you can get some money out from the warranties. And let's say you spend 100,000, uh 70,000 is insured money in there. It's a rough number. So 70,000 you get it from an insurance or carry on warranty. And it's less risky here. And of course, your realtor has to do some homework, and they have to find pre-construction with good builders. We don't want to waste time. That's more important. And we don't want to waste any money at all. We try our best, but this is how it is. It's protected, and you can lose some money if you don't do some homework, like which property to buy, which builder to buy from, which builder to not buy. Usually this is where the brokerage importance comes into picture. So my brokerage, it's a sister company to marketing group, and they get projects from builders directly. And the marketing group has some, they're pretty lenient on us, and they give us some units. So the company, the brokerage I work for, they deal with big builders most of the times. Like 95% of the times we are dealing with big builders only. And that's why you're protected and you get the best deals. And yes, I do have access. The brokerage does have access, and this is how it goes. Now, this is still, I would say, a lot of people still, could guess there should be a pre-construction, although they don't get it. There's still a third type, which is called, an assignment sale. What assignment sale means is, let's say Jugal, he bought a pre-construction property, and, he bought it for, let's say, 300,000. In 2 years, the property prices went up and it became $500,000. But his closing means, when is he getting the property? So his closing is like 6 months from now. And Jugal decided, okay, the prices went up. I booked it for 300,000 and I want $200,000. I'm getting $200,000 profit. So why don't I sell it to Nisha, let's say, and get profit from her? And so basically Nisha will give Jugal $200,000 to get his contract. So it's like reselling pre-construction. So that way Jugal made $200,000 and Nisha got a brand new property from the builder by giving him the profit. And it's still a win-win situation for both of the parties, because first person made $200,000 by signing a paper and giving like $50,000, $60,000, and the second person got a pre-construction property which is hard to get. And it's a good deal, I would say. Still lower than market value. Even if if you compare 3 years old property to an assignment sale, you will find it pretty similar, the prices. And of course, newer properties give you more appreciation, more profits, and all that. People don't like to deal with assignment sales. As far as I've known, nobody told me, when I was in the market as a buyer, nobody told me to buy an assignment sale, because first, it's hard to get, you need contacts. Second, it's a lot of paperwork and it's a lot of hassle for the realtor. If a realtor knows what they're doing, they protect you and all that, it's safe. But there's not a lot of expertise on this, so that's why people try to stay away from it. That's what I've seen. And now the next part is, renting versus owning, owning a property here. Rent, there's no responsibilities. Your landlord manages everything. You just pay the rent and that's it. There's no, I haven't seen, properties going down by a lot here, the prices. But if the property prices go down, you have no, no hassle, no issues at all. So that's the only advantage, I would say. And I would say, yeah, I don't think it's cheaper than owning the property. So why should you own? Because you are paying someone else's mortgage. That's what, it's a common term here. Why do you want to pay my mortgage as a tenant when you can pay your own mortgage as your own home? And it's not that difficult to, buy a property here. And let's see. So I have a website here. You can find this calculator, anywhere on the internet, but I like to use mine because it's pretty straightforward. And let's say you buy a condo in let's say Toronto or Scarborough. I recently got my client a condo for $540,000. And it's 2 bedroom in Toronto. It's Scarborough, but it's part of Toronto.
Nikhil, sorry to interrupt. Are you showing the website as well right now? Because I don't think that is shared.
Oh, okay. So let's try to share it.
You'll have to stop share and reshare again.
Okay. So here you go. Okay, sorry. So this is my website. I will, go on the home page and it's pretty standard. It has, so these listings are all resale listings on my website. So if you go on MLS search, MLS means multiple listing system, which means people list their properties and I have access to them. All the realtors have access to MLS. Otherwise, there's no point for a realtor to be in the market. So what that means is I can browse up to 9,000 properties that is listed by some other realtors. Only realtors can list on MLS. So 9,000 properties is what I can look into. And you can search by city. I live in Brampton. It's more like an Indian area here, but this is what it is. And see, it's touching heights. The property prices is like, for a detached home, it's 1.5 million and it looks like this. It's huge, but 1.5 is a lot of money. Anyway, we have some townhomes here. Actually not. Okay, this is a this is a corner townhouse, I would say. No, it's actually a semi. Okay, this is a semi-detached because there's no building on the right one. And let's see, townhouse. So this is a condo, and this is a condo townhouse because it has some common areas, and then in the type it says condo, so you have to pay some fees. And why can't I see a townhouse today? There's so many. Okay, let's see.
You have sold everything.
I wish. I mean, no, there's always an inventory for everything. And wow.
But don't worry, there are a lot of people in the call, they want to buy a fully detached house. So you have a good inventory. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, detached, detached is like, I made a heart in my slides and my sister removed it, but I love detached as well. So people do a lot of investments in detached homes in smaller cities and all that. Wow, there's no townhomes today in the market. Wow. Okay, this is a townhome. This is a corner townhome in Oakville. Oakville is, a rich city here, I would say. This is a corner townhome. And the next one would be an interior townhome. So this is how it is. And in Oakville, it's listed for 1.1 million. And I'm not even kidding. I saw this, the same one for 974 a month ago. Okay. It's going crazy. Anyway, so let's say we are a first time home buyer and we want to buy uh, a condo, 2 bedrooms is decent. And I recently got my client an assignment sale for 540, 2, 3. And what that means is that I got them a deal because the market price for this condo is 630 and my client saved like $90,000 right away. And yes, I promoted it because it was a good deal and I wasn't expecting the seller to give it to us for 540. With that said, seller also made $240,000 in this. He booked it for 300 and he sold it for 540. So it's a win-win for both of the parties. So let's say we want to go bare minimum and we will put down 5.37%. That's the minimum you can put. For until $500,000, you can put, you can put 5% down payment. But after that, it becomes 10% until million dollars. So until 500, 5%, and then 500, let's say it's $600,000, then you pay 10% on next $100,000. And if we have to buy something over a million, then you have to pay 20%. So that's a lot of money. That said, if you put down 20%, you don't have to buy an insurance here. Otherwise, insurance is mandatory for the bank. Insurance does not help you at all. It helps the bank if you are not able to make your payments. So banks have a requirement. If you put down less than 20%, buy this insurance, and that gets added to your purchase price. So let's say if we consider this scenario, you put down $29,000 and the property value is 540. So you are paying 531 because this insurance amount is added to the total price, even though you paid $20,000. So ideally it will be, the loan would be 520, but now it's 531. Amortization period is how long do you want the loan for? Usually we prefer, we don't have a choice usually, so it's 25 years if you're buying a resale property with the resale and assignment sometimes, but usually it's 25 years if you're putting less than 20% down. And if you're putting 20% down, you can put it in 30 years as well. It's a long time, but you will see some appreciation, in 2-3 years already. Now, interest rate in Canada is pretty low. So as compared to India, and ideally in this market, if you're paying if you have the insurance, they give you better rates. So this insurance gets you a better rate, and your monthly payment for owning a 800 square feet condo, for which the market rent is around, I would say, $2,300 in Toronto, you're getting it for $2,172 a month after putting down $30,000. Not bad, but so we can say, okay, mortgage, owning a house is cheaper. Not yet, because this is just the mortgage or loan money, and we cannot conclude that as of now. So for that, you need to calculate the monthly expenses as well. So let's say your monthly mortgage is 2,172. That's just the loan amount. But there are other expenses, which is, I would say, property tax, let's say around $300. And I don't think there'll be debts. So we will put utilities as, I would go by something, more ideal. So $130. And property insurance is $50. Nobody gets home phone these days, so we don't want it. there is a bug in the website. Okay. And cable, nobody gets it. So I can, be reasonable with that. And internet, I would say I am a fan of high-speed internet, so $70. So this looks like, no, it doesn't so far. So in monthly debt, I would put the monthly maintenance fees, because this is a condo. If this was a townhouse, no, there's no fees. So your monthly expense would be $2,700. But if it is if it is a condo or a condo townhouse, you have to pay some fees because they want money. And your monthly expense for owning a condo here is $3,000. That includes everything, your utilities, your internet, your insurance, and everything. Now, now we can conclude rent is cheaper, but I don't think so, because you're paying $3,000 versus I would say 2,400 plus utilities. They're not paying property taxes. Okay, let's be reasonable. Let's say you got a deal. So 2,400 versus 300. 2,400 versus 3,000. I'm sorry. So you're paying $600 more when you own a property, but that's not it. It doesn't end here. Final conclusion is that this money is going towards your mortgage. It's not getting wasted like you wasted in rent. I'm not saying that this entire money is your principal payment. There is some interest in there as well, which is pretty high for the first, I would say, first few years, like 7, 8 years, the interest rate, interest amount, not the rate. Because it's a compound interest, you're paying a lot of interest for the first 8 years. And that said, you're roughly paying $1,000 to $1,100 towards your principal amount. So now I wouldn't say 3,000 versus 2,400. I would say 2,000 versus 2,400, because the money that that you put down, or you're giving every month, is $1,000 from that money is getting saved. So this will be 2,000 versus 2,400 for me. And it's a good deal. You own your own house, and you can do all the modifications you want. You have a lifelong property, and you're still paying $400 less here. And again, if this goes lower, let's say you rent a 1 bedroom, it goes lower, and this goes lower as well. I'm comparing apples to apples, because actually it will be less, 15, 1,600, 1,200. So I think this is a better deal when you own a property rather than rent one. And I'm comparing apples to apples, because I'm comparing a similar house where the rent is $2,000, and where after reducing the principal amount, your expense is $1,200. And that's not it. Like, you're saving $800 a month, I would say, or you are depositing it somewhere where you will get it back eventually. You're still in a scope of getting a lot of profit. For example, let's say someone who was renting a condo for $2,000, they bought a condo 2 years ago. I know such people. I have friends who did that, and they are regretting now. Let's say they bought it for $300,000. The same property is, I think it's around 550 now. So it's you made, first you saved like 600, 700, or $800 a month, and then you made $200,000 in 2, 3 years, sitting and doing nothing. So that's why people are go more crazy for property here in Canada. And it's a win-win. Like, you're saving rent, and you are you're making money while doing nothing. And I'll share my slides now. So here I would say I would rather own a small house or small condo, I would say, rather than wasting money in rent. Of course, realtors deal with rent as well. Of course, I can find you something to lease, but I would still educate you, for why should you not get, a property on rent. That said, I had a client last month who talked to me, who didn't have all this information for the numbers, and he had $60,000 to put down, and he's like, fine, I just talked to him. I'm like, why are you wasting money, $2,000 in a rental? And he's like, because I cannot afford it. It's $500,000. I'm like, who told you need $500,000? You just need 5% or 10%, and that's it. 5% in his case, because he would be looking for a 1 bedroom. So I educated him, and he's my client. He was my client for rental, but he changed his mind, and he's my client for buying a property now, which makes more sense. And here we go. So we can enjoy a property. So yeah, this is what I made. Can I afford it? Mm, yes, you can. It's not that difficult. You're not paying $500,000 to anyone. Considering the rents here, a room is like what, $1,000 if you want, your private washroom and all that. So it's uh, it's a good deal. You get your own washroom, you get your own room, and then let's say you're single here, so you can rent out the other room. Your expense is half, because $1,000 rent is easy for a master bedroom. So that said, why can't you do all this by yourself? I mean, why do you need a realtor? I would say you need a realtor to guide you, for the best thing possible. That, I mean, a legit realtor would do that. Like, I would keep your interest in front of me rather than my interest. I do get commission, but let's say if I sell you something $100,000 more, I'll make, let's say $2,000 more. It's good money, but then I'm not a professional realtor if I'm doing that. So guidance is important, and so are negotiations. Let's say, so negotiations is, it's a skill. It's not that easy. You have to be like me as a realtor. I have to be patient. And when especially when I'm negotiating with builders, they have one unit and they have 100 people in line for getting that unit. This happened today itself. I'm negotiating for a client, and they have 50 to 100 people for one detached home in Oshawa, and they still choose to work with me, because I'm talking to them with keeping my ego aside. Even if they if they are they make mistakes, or they guided me wrong, or they told me wrong things and they didn't go up to their promise. But I have to be patient, because even then I'm getting a better deal for my client. And I today I negotiated. I mean, I got my client. It's a project called Harmony Creek in Oshawa, and they had to put down $150,000, my client. Now I negotiated, and they are putting down $130,000, and the rest is next year when the unit is ready. So my client, they are saving $20,000 for this year, and next year is they will get it from the bank. So they saved away $20,000 right away. If you calculate, $100,000 is like $450 to $500 a month based on the interest rate we have today. So in mortgage, $20,000 will be $100. So they find it better deal. My clients were happy, and I also get them an extension. Like, even though the builder can be like, okay, you know what, we don't want you to get this unit. Never mind, we have more buyers, but I have to negotiate. I told her, the lady who was selling it to us, I'm like, it's my job to negotiate, so I'll do my best. And then she was like, okay, say whatever you want. And then I negotiated, and this client got 6 to 8 months instead of 4 months to pay his $150,000, which was reduced to $130,000. And this is a brand new house from the builder in Oshawa, detached home. And it comes with all the warranties. It comes with appliances. I negotiated for the appliances as well. and he's getting free appliances in that money itself. So it's a $10,000 benefit for my client, and they are very happy with with how it went because they didn't ask for it. It's my duty, it's my responsibility to negotiate because they don't ask for it. Like, let's say you are buying something and you're like, okay, I'm fine with $600,000, and then I'm like, okay, what am I doing here? Okay, let's negotiate a bit. And then I gave them an offer for 580. Even though my client is happy with 600,000, I got a deal, I got my money, and that's it. But if I'm negotiating, that looks good on my part, and in future, this client saved $20,000, and they will always be after me that buy us something. So negotiations are very important, and I love doing it. Even though if I have a direct client to ask me, okay, get me this thing for whatever price it is listed for, and that's it. I still I call it poking my nose, but I still poke my nose and I try to negotiate for them. And I had a similar client who came to me and he's like, buy me a semi-detached 30 years old in Brampton for $900,000. And I told him, he's an investor. So I see no profit in it. If you're buying a 30 years old property, that too semi-detached for 900, not worth it. So this is the client. I convinced him, and he's giving me so many clients now because I convinced him to get something, a condo because he's an investor. The condo I was talking about, it's listed for 630 by the builder. Like, getting it directly from the builder, you will get it for $630,000, and my client got it for 540. So straight away he saved $90,000. And let's say pre-construction is completed and he closes the property, means he owns the property now. He sells it, he's in a profit of $90,000 already. And he didn't ask for it. I think that's my moral responsibility to do it, rather than just getting him what he wants. And that's not a concern. That's not my job. And there's a lot of misconception here. Realtor is all about wearing good dress, suit, and having a fancy car, and then showing houses around. That's not it. I don't find I don't I'm not an Uber driver. I am more like, I'm doing my work. That's part of it, driving car and showing the properties around for the clients, but that's not the job. That's like, I would say 10% job for me. It's a lot more than that. And that's why realtors are paying good money. If let's say you save $50,000, then it's worth it if I'm getting some $10,000, $15,000 paid. But if you're paying $50,000 more, then I don't deserve that money. So negotiations, guidance, and paperwork. So paperwork it's not easy. I usually spend 2 to 3 hours before submitting an offer, so that I can be damn sure that my client is protected. Even if it's a seller client, if it's a buyer client, I would love to protect my client and spend an extra hour on it. Takes 1 hour usually, but I spend one more hour so that I didn't make any mistake. My client should not go into loss, and there should be all the necessary conditions for my client to be safe, and there should be all the conditions removed that can void this deal or that seller won't like. So it has to be in between. For
Hey, Nikhil,
assignment,
sorry to interrupt. I mean, these are definitely great points, but I want to also save some time for questions, right?
this is the last
So,
thing.
yeah, okay, yeah. So I think I know there are already some questions in the chat. So I think, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, if you just wrap it up and then we can take some questions, that will be
Sure,
wonderful.
sure. And few benefits, other benefits are due diligence. We work in, I mean, the entire real estate, community, we work in the background as well for some due diligence. We find what could go wrong in this transaction, can you lose money and all that. So that's my due diligence to find things in background. Let's say the property had any complaints, it's legal or not, and all that. And of course, this money in real estate, with brokerages is protected. It goes to brokers or brokerages, which is a company that realtors work for, rather than going to the seller directly. Until it's closed, seller gets nothing. Closed means you getting the property and the keys, and you are on the title. You own the property. Okay, I'm all good, and I hope I explained some brief points. I have more information, but time is a constraint today, so I would love to answer all the questions that we get.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I can see there are already some questions in the chat, but I guess, folks, do you want to ask him directly, or we can start reading them?
I would start reading them, and then
Sure.
then we will
Yeah.
can someone from India buy property in Canada? Will India income and net worth with Indian? You can definitely buy a property in Canada if you are a foreign resident. You do have to pay if you're not if you don't have a PR here, then it's a problem. You have to pay 15% taxes, and it's like you're giving part of your profit already somewhere. So not that recommended, but let's say the deal I was talking about, you get something for like 630,000 for 540, so you're getting an appreciated property already. Then you can think about it. But there's a new law that came in that your property, if it is vacant, you have to pay additional 1% taxes. So you have to find a management company that manages the property for you. Okay, there's more questions. So yeah, so it depends what you buy. Let's say if it's in pre-construction and in between you feel like, okay, you will get the PR, yeah, go for it. Let's say pre-construction, the closing is 5 years down the line. So it's not bad. So you have a lot of time in between. Pre-construction is like what Black Friday used to be in
No,
US.
that's not a
Yeah,
question. That's a comment. Yeah.
that is actually true. It is like that, and plus lineups are huge. Like I've seen people fainting in there. So they pay money to students, let's say $3,000 for standing in the line. Now it's not allowed, it's all virtual. So that's why realtors need contacts and all that. That said, there was a project that came. It's with our company. It's called Caledon Trails, and I tried. I was not with this company before, so I tried to book it myself, and no luck. Even as a realtor, as a buyer, I couldn't get it, and it was gone in 20 seconds. In 20 seconds, I tried 20 times. I didn't get one chance to get it. So it's that bad. Are there no issues with builders not in here? You're protected for. So the question is, are there any issues builder not delivering pre-construction projects on time? Builders do delay projects here. That's the normal practice here. If you're an investor, you would love it. Like builders delaying it, you would love it, because you're waiting for the property to appreciate even more because you want to sell it. But yes, builders do delay it here. There are some rules and regulations. If they delay it by, let's say, 3 months, no penalties. If they delay, there's 3 closing dates for pre-construction. Let's say they miss the third one, which is usually after a year, then they pay you some money as penalties. And let's say the builder goes bankrupt, which is quite common in India. Here it's not that common. There's two ways to protect yourself from it. Like, find a bigger builder, I would say. Don't go for a random builder who is working across the street and he's making 2 houses. That's risky. But even if a builder, big builder or small builder, they go bankrupt, you can claim your warranty from it's called Tarion here. So they will give you not all the money. I would say, let's say you invested 120,000, you will get 70,000 back. But let's say you put in like 70,000, then you're more safe. And it's that's why I prefer to work with bigger builders, because I don't know who the smaller builder is. Usually the builders who are like more than 20 years in the market, less chances for them to get bankrupted, but they have their own website and projects and all that. So
Nikhil, Nikhil Hi.
Hi.
Very good presentation. Firstly, thank you for sharing it. I'm just jumping in. You just mentioned about big builders.
Mhm.
So, what are the top builders you can think on the top of your mind
Uh,
over here?
the one my company deals with is called Fernbrook Homes, Crystal Homes, Yorkwood Homes, Laurier, and one my company doesn't work with it. It's called Empire. It's mostly like in Niagara region they work in, and Riocan is a big builder for condos, and these are the major ones for now. And Fernbrook also does condos as well now. So Fernbrook is my personal favorite because they have a lot of value for money. Because let's say the condo in today's market is $500,000, they will still sell it for $500,000, but 5 years down the line. So you will see here in 505 years the property price is double. So the house that is 900 today, 5 years before or 5 years ago it was 500 or 450. So it's that crazy. So let's say you buy a condo now, I would assume $500,000 condo would give you 200,000 at least in profit in 5 years.
Yeah. So, Nikhil,
And
what are the big player names for independent homes like the one which you said, not for condos if you want to buy?
Fernbrook and Crystal Homes do that as well. Fernbrook, there's a project called Calvin Trace that got sold in 20 seconds. Empire is in detached homes. Fernbrook, Crystal, and Laurier is one of them. And they have projects all over GTA, and now they're even going up to Berry. So I deal with Fernbrook a lot, and with with such builders, you need contacts. Otherwise, if even realtors try, they don't get it. I know the marketing company that's the sister company to my company, they sell it to realtors as well. So they're that much in demand, and
So, are you
realtors.
saying as an individual buyer, you cannot go like as it happens in any other market, you can't go and directly book units with them? You cannot do that?
I'm saying some builders you can, but again, it's first come, first serve. And for one unit, at least 20 people ahead in line for you. So for
So,
one
you need to
unit,
bid for that.
you need to be aggressive. Whatever you get it. So for us, we have to have contacts. Like it's not easy for a realtor to have access to builder projects. So we have to have contacts. We need to know people. Like the one I got today in Oshawa, I know, a person in there, and that's how I got it. So I've known them for so long time. I've been after them. Oh, I need a project, I need this, and it's give and take, I would say. I would give them something from my company, I would get something from them, so something like that. So
Yeah.
it's more like relations with them. And one more reason I missed this: pre-construction is not promoted. Is It's less commission. It's less commission for me, it's less money for me. So you know I would get double the money by selling you a resale, house, than in pre-construction, because builders don't need to do a lot of effort selling pre-construction. The money they are giving, half the money or even less. That's their courtesy. That's like they're just donating it to us because we spend some time, but that's not like real money. And that's why people don't like to promote pre-construction. First, there's no access. Second, there's no money. So why not sell you something resale if you trust me and get double the money? So that's how it's going here.
And Nikhil, is it like that even if you go through a realtor, it's a
Mhm.
lucky draw whether your name gets picked when you bid for that? Is that the case for a new
some
project?
some projects, yes. Let's say you that's why, okay, some projects simply yes, yeah. You Let's say you come to me and you want something with Empire, and I will try my best, but I can't promise it. But let's say you come to me and want something with Fernbrook, and my company has access to it. I would still not promise you 100%. I would ask for three choices, but before the project is out. But if the project is out, then if I'm 1 hour late, I'm gone. There are so many other in the company, they will get it. So I have to be proactive. So let's say the project is out, like we have a project in Burlington, DLM. So before it's out, I would collect, your information and put in your name and information, and that's when you get it. But let's say project is out today, and tomorrow I'm contacting the builder, it's already sold. So they don't know that I'm gonna bring a client or not, because somebody else did already.
Yeah.
So
And Nikhil, is it like when it comes to new property, you cannot, as per the Ontario law, you cannot build the basement in the first 2 years? Is that a law?
no, they
Oh.
come with basement. You can furnish it. So some of them come, with furnished basement, finished basement. Some of them don't come with finished basement, but you can always get it finished. There's no law that you cannot finish it, but let's say you modify the structure of the property. Let's say you want a separate entrance, then your warranties will be void. So you don't want that. So play it smart, hire a professional company, spend 5,000 more, maybe 10,000 more, maybe, but take care of the warranties as well. Usually, I don't think anybody uses the warranties here because it's all by reputed builders, but you never know. Like it's like buying a new car. Maybe something happens.
Yeah, I think Nikhil, there are a couple of other questions. I know there is one hand raised from Vinay as well. So maybe we can take two questions from the chat and then go to Vinay, because I know people have asked the questions. Do you want to start with Divjo's question on if you can buy a property with a friend, and what are the pros and cons of it?
There's a mortgage one. That's actually a very relevant question for
Sure.
pre-construction. Your mortgage doesn't start, until you move into the house. So let's say builder wants 100,000 deposit. That's it. After you move into the house, we close it. Like that's called closing. We close it, then your mortgage starts. Is the price okay? Price. I'll quickly do it. Price agreed with the builder before construction. Price is agreed with the builder now, and even if the property is 10 times more, builder won't give you any, give you a hard time, because you already agree. It's a contract. You can sue them if they want more money. After the contract is signed, you also sign the contract, the builder also does that. So they cannot change the prices, neither can you. Like let's say you see, okay, 100,000 property prices have dropped. It hasn't happened here, I'm sure. But let's say it happens, but you cannot get the price reduced. Hey, the property prices are on. Why do you want more? So it's a two-way contract. So it works the both way. Some of the defaulters can pay mortgage and it goes for auction. Does it go in open market? It does. As a matter of fact, the house I'm in, it was it's called distress sale or power of sale. And yes, it goes into market, but it's risky as in it's sold as is means they won't let you see what's broken in the, let's say the appliances are not working, they won't let you fix it. And they would let you inspect the house, but let's say there is, sometimes they don't even let you inspect the house. So it's a little risky. If it's an old house, I would do a lot of research before buying that house. But if it's a newer one, like 2-3 years old, then it's okay. So yes, they come in the market, but it's also a matter of contacts. If you have contacts, then you can get those properties as well. And also some of them come into MLS, and they get sold pretty quickly. But as I said, some people like to be away from these properties because there's a lot of work involved. You have to get inspection, you have to get, and it's quick. It has to be quick. Within 5 days, you have to check, is there anything wrong with the property? Is there any, maybe this is distress because there was a murder. It's called a stigma here. So that's why you need more homework on this. And if it's on MLS, it's a little safer. Can someone buy a property in here? Yeah, I already answered this. Can buy joint property with friends? Yes, definitely you can do that. And I've seen people doing that, but get everything in writing. Even if it's your friend, property prices go up, people change their minds. And so if it's in writing, every single detail in writing, I would even write down, if I'm buying with a friend, I would even write down, okay, if one person decides to sell, what does the second person do? And if the second person cannot say no, I mean, let's say like for me, let's say I would buy an investment property with a friend of mine. I would write down, okay, 100,000 profit, one person decides to sell, other one has to agree. Because let's say the other one doesn't want to agree, then you have a problem and then you fight with each other. So it has to be in writing. Everything you can think of has to be in writing. You need a good lawyer for it who has done these agreements before. You need to have an entire down payment ready for.
Sorry, Nikhil. I mean, just to add on to that, right? So where do you
Mhm.
think it should be in the writing? I mean, the lawyer only, I believe, does the ownership documents, right? Is it a
Yes,
separate power of attorney or something?
yes, you can get a separate document from the lawyer, and they do it all the time. Like, sometimes a friend of mine, he lent $200,000 to his friend who was in need, and he got everything, like even the smallest detail in writing. I mean, it's risky, as I said. If you don't write those things down, okay, we will other person wants to sell it because he wants to buy his own property with his family, but this person doesn't want to sell it. And these things are normal here. Like, it's not like you definitely trust your friend, but it's matter of money. And I have seen relative fighting for properties here. So it's a good idea, everything from the lawyer and sealed. And whatever their process is, the lawyer's process, that it's a valid contract, then you're fine.
Just a follow-up question. I mean, do you suggest to buy property as a standalone on a person's name, or do you suggest to form a corporation and then buy it out?
Standalones, name corporation, buying as a corporation is little difficult, and it needs a lot of paperwork. And then I haven't come across a case where any of my clients bought a house as a corporation. And the reason is there is a lot of documentation required. Your corporation has to have some turnover, they have to have some money and all that. So I mean, flowing money, it's like your corporation has to have $200,000 yearly income and all that. But I to be honest, I don't have a lot of experience with corporations because none of my clients bought into corporation. It's hard. As far as I asked my accountant, he said it's not easy. Next question. Okay. So do you need to have an entire down payment ready before you get pre-approved for mortgage, make an offer? Not really. Like, you can arrange, like, the banks don't ask for, sometimes they do. It depends on bank to bank, but you can tell them, okay, first of all, if you have to buy a property and if you have a pre-approval, you are mentally prepared that you're gonna buy this property in 3 to 4 months, and you have a backup. So that could be a friend or family member who's sending money from India. So you could get a letter from them, and your bank could support it. They could be convinced, okay, this person has money in a different account and they will get it. So you don't need, I mean, ideally you should, but you don't religiously need to have the down payment money in hand. They can be a little flexible, the banks can be a little flexible.
We have a
And
gentleman who has raised his hand. Vinayak should go next. Vinayak.
hey, Vinay.
Thanks, Ashok. Yeah, my question is more in terms of how to get this financed, whether to go to the big five banks. I mean, they have their mortgage products as well, but are there other organized sector which would provide these finances? What do you suggest? How do we go about it?
I would say not just big five, but big few famous brands. I would go for brands because they are a little scared of the laws and all. They have a brand image to maintain. I wouldn't go for something that's unheard. I could go for HSBC. I could go for Meridian, but I would be skeptical going for a new mortgage company that I don't even know about. I haven't heard about it. If they have locations, if a mortgage company has locations, and then it's fine. The reason is you might get a lower interest rate with smaller lenders, but there could be clauses. Let's say you bought a property, pay us $10,000 penalty. You bought a property, pay us some fees. There are some hidden fees and all that. So I would want to deal with something as a brand name, because it makes me feel safe, and it makes them feel scared as well, because they have an image to maintain. And the one that I can think about is HSBC and Meridian. It's not top 5 banks, but it is still doable. I have dealt with HSBC. They are pretty professional. They are busy these days, but they are very professional, I would say.
I was coming from more a point of view where there could be an instance where I would be breaking the mortgage contract, right? So when I'm selling the property and to someone else, then I'm breaking that mortgage.
Yeah.
So what happens in those cases? The big banks, I've heard, they have huge penalties to come out of the contract and things of those
Mhm.
sorts. So how do you weigh those? Which ones offer better results for you?
I have a question though. Let's say you're selling a property. Are you buying another one?
Not immediately, probably. Say
Probably.
I may buy within that financial year so that I don't get taxed for uh, tax for that particular money that I've gained. But yeah, but I may not immediately buy it.
Okay, then if you have these plans, let's say in future, let's say I buy a property today and I feel like, okay, 2 years down the line I would sell it, or 1 year down the line I would sell it. So I would go for variable interest rates, because the fees to cancel the contract in variable is much lower than in fixed fixed rates. And worst case is that you could end up paying $20,000 in fixed rates versus $5,000 in penalties. If, let's say, by chance you're in fixed rates, that's a trick. I did that. So you can see if your bank negotiates for getting you to a new term without paying any penalty. Sometimes they do. It's called blend and extend. There's a trick. That's the trick, I would say. It's called blend and extend, and then your penalty lowers up fixed rates. But it depends, what bank you are with and what not. And with variable, straight away pay 5,000, $4,000, and you're out of the burden. And if you're in fixed and you feel like, okay, $20,000 is not negotiable, they're not negotiating at all, port it. Instead of buying the house 6 months down the line, because honestly, only reason you would wait for 6 months is that you're expecting a crash. Even I've asked this question to my manager, can you expect a crash in 2021? He's like, nobody knows. I'm not God. So nobody knows, if a crash is coming or not. We were expecting something to change in the budget and a crash or a correction to come in. Nothing happened. We, I mean some people I know. So it you cannot be, it's dicey. Of course, it can go up, definitely, but you cannot predict, I'll wait for 6 months and then I'll make some profit, and then I'll buy another one. You will eventually, maybe it goes up and you will lose the 10,000 in penalties and mortgage. Maybe if 10,000 is not a small amount too, right? And then you will lose that, and probably you will end up paying $10,000 or like $100,000 more. You never know. Like the way it happened in Calvin Trails, a house was 1.3 and somebody said I'll wait, and it's 1.6 in 2-3 months. And not even exaggerating, this happened here on my street. House was for 700. I'm like, one of my clients is like, okay, it will go down. I'm like, sure, we'll wait. That same house is in 6 months is like $900,000 now, and this guy, the seller, wants 960.
Fair. Thank you.
All right. And rent to own, does that mean down payment is required? It is flexible for rent to own. It depends on what you're negotiating for. It's pretty flexible. So it's subjective to that particular contract. So you have to see what their requirement, the seller's requirement are. And I wouldn't go by what the requirements are. I would definitely want to get in between as a realtor, or your realtor has to get in between, and then negotiate. Like, okay, we don't want to give any down payment. let's make it 2 years, rent to own, and then we will think about down payment, what it is. But this person should get the house in 2 years, something like that. Upcoming areas in Ontario, I would say Barrie is pretty hot these days, and Cambridge, it's already gone up, Cambridge, Kitchener, but it's still doable. If you want to buy a detached house, you can get something under $1 million. And Oshawa is good, Bowmanville is good, Pickering is good. It's all going up, but it's still doable right now. Other than that, Gulf is, it's going up, but again, it's still doable as compared to the other ones. I'm comparing it to Brampton, Mississauga, Toronto, and Oshawa is kind of part of GTA. So Oshawa is getting really hyped up. People want to be closer towards downtown Toronto, and that's why they prefer, these cities. And even Barrie is doable from downtown if you have to, work from home culture is here. So if you have to work from home and you're going to, work twice a week, it's still doable from Barrie, 1.5 hours express train, and you're in downtown Union Station. So Barrie, Innisfil is good. It's closer towards downtown. I've heard builders and pre-construction properties charge you hefty amounts for any upgrades. How do you tackle such situation? I wouldn't pay builders, even though I'll make some money, but I wouldn't want my clients to pay anything for upgrades upfront, because you don't know, you might have a situation to assign it to someone, or you might have to resell it as soon as you close it. So I would keep it basic and simple, the cheapest one possible, or maybe one next grade, but that's it. Like, I would rather hire a contractor to do it, because builder prices are anyways more. I would love to negotiate with the builder to give something extra, maybe an AC or appliances. If they don't, buy it yourself, you will save some money. And assignment sales, let's say you bought upgrades for $20,000, in the value you will get $10,000. So you already lost, $10,000. So I wouldn't do it. And it's like, buying car accessories. You sell it with accessories, without accessories, you get the same amount. I've heard the builder, okay, is it worth buying in GTA area? People should look for midtown uptown. This is a question I've been asked a lot. Should we buy something in GTA or not really? I would say stay 1.5 hours away from downtown Toronto and you're fine, even if it's GTA or outside GTA. The reason is, companies would want you to go back to work. And let's say you live in London, Ontario. If you work in London, Ontario, yeah, sure. But if you work in downtown Toronto and you want to travel 2 hours, like you want to travel from London to downtown Toronto, no, it's not possible. I mean, it took me 1.5 hours in rush hour traffic from Brampton to downtown Toronto, and it's 35 kilometers, actually 45 kilometers. So I wouldn't, expect you to reach before 3 hours to work from London in rush hour traffic. So if 45 kilometers took me 1.5 hours, at least 3 hours for 145 kilometers. London is that far. So stay closer to downtown. But yeah, you can expand. You can go towards Innisfil because it's still doable. You can get a GO train and be in downtown. It's $15 from Barrie, one way. It's $10 from Brampton, 15 from Barrie. So not bad. You can travel and live in a bigger property in Barrie rather than living in a small property in downtown Toronto. If you can afford, so like if you can afford a bigger house, why not? And let's say a condo is $1 million in downtown Toronto, 2-3 bedroom, you will get a mansion in 1.3 in Barrie. Mansion, I mean 3,300 square feet and 75 feet lot. It's a huge lot. We have a project coming up. So it's stay 1.5 hours away from downtown Toronto. Apart from down payment, how many years of bank statement or job stability is checked before approving any mortgage amount? I would say job stability is 3 months. If you're out of probation, you can easily get mortgage. Yes, sometimes you have to convince the mortgage agent and the bank mortgage specialist, but it's doable. So job stability, you don't have to have like years of job stability. Again, we have to negotiate a bit. I can negotiate, or your realtor can negotiate as well, but not really. So it's not, it doesn't have to be bank statement. I don't think if you have the money, they don't really, they don't really get into it. When did you get it? So if you have like $100,000 in your bank account, you're good to go. You don't have to, worry about showing them all the mortgage account statements and all that. I use the word mortgage a lot. I realize that.
Any live questions from the people on the call? Thanks, Nikhil. This is definitely very helpful.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Nikhil, I'll probably, if I'm not jumping in. Ashok, have you finished everyone's questions?
Yes, I'm just waiting. Is there anyone else has a question?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Nikhil. I just want to ask you, is it possible that from the real estate side, the realtor can be a part-timer? I know this is like
But-
out of book question.
So that's something I wanted to, bring up. Like, yeah, a realtor can be a part-time realtor if they know what they're doing. Yeah, sure, why not? If any one of you is, needs help or guidance how to become a realtor, or how to be, more professional, how to get clients, how to make deals, yeah, I'm definitely ready to, share my experience, my knowledge, and, ask me anytime. I'll give my number on the chat here, and you guys can text me. And yes, definitely realtor can be part-time, but you have to give some attention. Of course, you will get less clients and less time. I myself, I being doing nothing. Like if I'm not even with the client, I'm spending 10 hours, 12 hours a day on realtor stuff. It's because there is some background, duties and um, background things that I'm doing. Let's say my client is putting an offer on a house. I have to call the city. Hey, the taxes are correct or not? Hey, is there any stigmas on the property? Is there any loss on the property for my client? So it takes a lot of time. So it's not like, when I joined, somebody told me, okay, you can do it, spend 2 hours a day, go out with clients, and you're done. It's not that simple. You have to, have a lot of time. And in the other time, I'm finding pre-construction projects and then promoting them, talking to builders. Sometimes you become friends with, the clients, and with me it happens 99% of the time. So you have to talk to them, you have to keep in touch, and it's fun. And it's not like you have to do it because it's your job. You like doing it, you like socializing after this job.
Thank you so much, Nikhil. I shall be in touch with you.
Nikhil, when it comes to closing of the house, what other expenses we should consider? It's like just going through a website, but if you can mention it for everyone.
Sorry, closing of the house. Okay, so you probably, okay, if you're a first time home buyer, you get some rebate from the government. But let's say it's your second property, you need to, there's a formula which I don't remember because
Yeah,
I
it's there on your website. The website which you shared, it's listed there.
Yeah.
So that is
So
that a
few aspects to it. Is one is land transfer tax. So you have to pay this tax in everything here. I hate it, but that's how it is. So you have to pay land transfer tax, and that's usually $10,000-12,000 if you're a first time home buyer. In Toronto, it's double. First of all, like if you buy a property in Toronto, you have to pay double the land transfer tax. But everywhere else, it's normal. And I would keep $20,000 aside if you're not a first time home buyer, for land transfer tax and lawyer fees and all that.
thank you.
And if it's like a condo, then keep 10,000 aside and you're good to go. So $1 million property, 20, condo, 10,000 should be good. If it's in Toronto, yeah, double it. Unfortunately, because there's so much demand.
So for $1 million property, I'm checking on a website, it shows that you should have around close to $30,000 aside.
30,000. Okay. Is it in Toronto?
I didn't select the area. I just put a value there to check
Yeah, it
on the
should be.
on your website. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be for Toronto. It's double for Toronto. And yeah, so 20,000 is the minimum you need at least. And yeah, it could go up depending on the location. But we usually, like me, if I'm buying a property, I would keep 20,000 minimum aside.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
There is more in the chat. Yeah.
Okay. Here's the chat. Okay.
I think it's about the stress test.
Stress test. Okay. Where is it?
The last one from Pallavi.
Okay, there is stress test coming. Does that mean first time over? Well, yes, that's so 1st July, they're making it difficult for for first time home buyers. So I would say property prices will be a little stable for some time. And I don't see a drop because there is a lot of demand. There might be a drop, but not by that much, maybe a correction. And yes, so let's say you're eligible for 650 right now, you will be eligible for 590 after July 1st, something like that. But sometimes bank let's say you're putting down $20,000 more, and I mean 20% down, so then they are more flexible. But if you're involving the insurance, if you're putting less than 20% down, it's getting a little difficult. But still it's you can find something easily here. I mean, you have to work a little hard, and there are some tricks and ways to get you a deal. Let's say property that you liked before was 590, find a similar property for 530, and it's doable. It just needs more work for you and the realtor.
Sounds good. I know we went really way over time, but it just means the topic is so hot that people have so many questions. Is there any last questions from anyone before we can let our dear friend Nikhil go out and have his beer or drink whatever he wants to have on the Saturday evening?
I'm already out.
Yeah, sorry, you are already out. I'm inside. Okay, fine. But I finished my drink, but yeah, I'm okay.
It's getting cold in here. Yeah. So I
Mohan,
don't know.
do you have plans of buying the third house, Mohan?
Yes, Ashok. Not third, fifth one, right?
Wow. Okay.
So
we have an investor here.
no, yeah, Nikhil, he's pulling my leg. So I yet to invest on my first one. So
Okay.
Nikhil, great session. Thank you for the info. One quick one. In terms of pre-approval, can we get a pre-approval 9 months in advance to possession? I know it's 6 months.
You can, but banks are smart. So I was shocked. My friend get a pre-approval for 2 years, but what banks do is they give you, a worst case or scenario for the interest rate. So let's say, the interest rate is 2% right now, you will get 3.5 because they are taking risks involved. So what I would do if you wanna take a chance is get a pre-approval now, and 3 months, 4 months down the line, be like, oh, my property, I would want another pre-approval because I changed my mind. And sometimes they are flexible to give you the old rate. Like let's say you get 1.7 right now, or well, from a small lender, it's 1.9 from Meridian right now. So let's say you get 1.9 and it goes up to 2.2 with that specific organization, and then 4 months down the line you can be like, okay, can you extend my pre-approval for 4 more months if it's possible? Sometimes they do. 50% chance they will do it, and then you're good to go. So you got the old rate because they're at least making something in there as well.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks.
No problem.
So many more questions?
You're all good.
Good. Thank you, Nikhil. You started from the scratch. Like a lot of people, few of us that joined from outside of Canada also, so they didn't have much knowledge. So thank you. You started from the basics as well. I have shared your card and website on the chat and Zoom. So if anyone wants to contact you, they can. Is there any other way they can reach out to you? Feel free. Also,
my number, my website, and my business card is all there. So yeah, feel free to reach out. And if it's I'm for the purpose for this meeting was not me looking for clients, but just to share some knowledge that I have. So if you have any questions, if you wanna know more, just for fun, it's again, it's passion for me. So if you wanna know something related to real estate, or something went wrong or something went too good, you want to share, definitely let me know, and I would love to answer anything or share my feedback or my review on it. And that's how it will be fun. So I like doing this, so ask me anything you
Good.
like.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nikhil. Thank you from all of us here. Taking time out 1.5 hours for a Saturday evening. Wonderful. Thank you so much. We'll reach out to
No
you.
problem, no problem. It was fun for me. I met some good people, I would say. And I met Jugal. When I asked him, where are you from? He said Mumbai, and I'm like, okay, we can connect, man, because I gel around very easily from young professionals, and it's fun for me. So I like to do that.
Wonderful. All good. I will not keep everyone for long. Thank you so much, and I guess you'll have enjoy the weekend and have a good rest of the weekend then.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Nikhil.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Jugal, can you
Yes,
share
everyone.
can you share
Yeah.
the JPEG on our group
I'll
as well,
share.
WhatsApp group?
I'll share the JP. I'll share Nikhil's website, his visiting card, his business card, and his phone number on the group as well. So
Sure.
people who dropped out at 5 o'clock also, I know few of them had their appointment, so even they will have access to it.
Fair.
And we have made some notes as well. So Nikhil, if you can just share those names of the builders again, just so that I'll verify that I have made the accurate notes, so then we can just share it out as well.
There's actually a website, like our company's website for it. I'll share that as well.
Perfect. Thank you. So I can give it out to everyone.
Yeah,
That's good.
So, yeah, there is. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
See everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank
Bye.
you.
All right.
Have a
Thanks,
good
guys.
evening.
It's getting
Thank
cold
you.
in here, so I'm gonna go warm myself up.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bye.
All right. Thank you.